In this lesson, we're going to talk about a particular method for designing a course. It's called Integrated Course Design. So our question for this series of presentations is, how do we prepare to teach a course? So this is like preparing for an actual semester class or something like what we're doing in this class. Actually, one of the assignments I thought about doing for this course is, whereas a class, this Kinesiology 750 class, we pretend that we are a athletic training professional program, and we have to design a course together. But I didn't know how that would work, so I decided not to do it. So this is what we would do if we were going to do that assignment, but we're not. So we're going to use a model by Fink, and I have provided that link for you, a link to Fink. And we'll use these 4 different steps to develop a course. It's actually it's more detailed in the guide that I've provided you than these 4 steps. These are just like the beginning steps in his guide. And that was the other reason why I decided that's probably a little bit too big of a project for a 6-week course. If we had a little bit longer time, like a semester, like a full semester, I think it would be easier to do that. So our first step that we're going to do is talk about situational factors, and then we'll move on to the teaching, learning activities, feedback, or learning goals, teaching and learning activities, feedback and assessment. They're all grouped together. So we have quite a bit of situational factors. If you want to, you should probably have that Fink guide in front of you. He pretty much has all this stuff in there. So I'm not going to go over everything in detail. You will have a learning assignment where I'm going to ask you to compare how Fink and Bain discuss how to prepare to teach. So just so you know, you become aware of that I'm not going to go over the Bain stuff. You can read that. I'll go over this material just a bit. So situational factors. These are all the things that we bring into the course. Things like the context. How big is our class? So our class size, is it 10 students or is it 50 students? So what level is it? Is it freshman, sophomore, grad, PhD level? How long is the class? How many sessions delivery? Is it online? Is it blended online? Those type of things. In our athletic training professional programs, we'll have external expectations from our CATIE accreditors. We talked about that in last week's lesson. Then we also we'll have university department mission statements and university expect learning outcomes that drive the way we design our course. Other things that drive the way we design our course is the nature of the subject matter. Is it a convergent type course, which means there's only one answer, or is it a multiple perspectives like in psychology? I think in our athletic training courses, we have probably more convergent than divergent. I think some of the professional development type areas probably would be divergent, but I think that most of our courses are going to have the right answer, the right way to do things. There's certain ways to do things, because there are certain ways to do injury assessment. We may have multiple ways of doing rehab, so that might be the divergent. Is this class going to be primarily a cognitive course, which would be probably more in our didactic classrooms, or in our lab settings, they would be skills-based at a psychomotor area. Content is very stable typically in athletic training, but again, these are just different things about our situational factors. Then the other thing we want to talk about in the situational factors is the characteristics of the learners or the students in their classes. I'm going to have another lesson where I talk about today's student, which will talk about some of these characteristics of the learner. Um, and these are a lot of different things here. We got life situations. Again, depends on what type of class you're teaching. Since this class is specific, or this class that we're talking about that you're taking, and the whole design of this course, the 750 course, is for how we develop athletic training curriculum and courses and teach athletic training. We're going to have some specific characteristics of athletic training students, their life situations, and those type of things. There's been a lot of research done on learning styles, so somebody picks the learning styles, or there's a couple choices that you have of learning styles for your signature choice assignment. It's very interesting stuff. What kind of prior experience were the athletic training students at a different school, like here in California? I did. I transferred. I was at a community college, then transferred to the four-year university. Maybe some people were in a program, an ROP program out here in California called Regional Occupational Programs. They can work as athletic training students at the high school, and then they come to the university. So what's all the previous experience? Again, all these situational factors are all the different things that come into play when we design a course. And our last situational factor is going to be characteristics of you, the teacher. Have you ever taught this course before? What's your knowledge level on the subject matter? How confident do you feel in teaching? And those type of things. And we'll talk about strengths in a later lesson. Strengths are the things that we do well on a consistent basis, and that gives us energy when we do those. So these are all, again, just the things that we bring into a course that make a big impact on how we design a course and how we'll teach that course.